Hey Roadrunners, welcome back to Lit Medallion. Let's talk about our Aggie game. First, like I said, my preview was published after the game. That video was shot Friday night before Memorial Day weekend, heading to San Antonio. Had issues with my editing software, yada, yada, yada. So I finally got that out pretty late, right? By the time I got back home from San Antonio. Anyway, so going to be a little later on this one. But don't worry, you're going to have two videos back to back. But let's talk about Texas A&M before we talk about our next game. So the Texas A&M game, did it go how you felt it would go? For me, it went exactly how I felt it would go. We'd show some spunk. We'd be who we are at the front six. But I did not expect our offensive line to perform, to me, as well as it did. In my preview video, I was worried about our passing game due to the wide receiver side. We still got 170 yards, right? I think that's what we got, 170. Maybe I read that wrong. McCown had 121, and then Tennyson got that one big pass, that one drive. He got himself, so yeah, about 171 yards, I think, is the total. What surprised me was Texas A&M only had 399 total yards. We held them in rushing. They had 108 rushing yards. I am fine with our defensive front six. Now, we lost an outside linebacker for the season, and that's not going to help us. But they were carving us up at the secondary. I don't know if we were playing a zone because of how fast that speed was. That was incredible how fast that guy was. Man. I mean, yeah, he's fast, and well, there you go. Faster than our guys. Now, on our punting, that didn't help. That made A&M's game a lot easier, right? It really did. Simply because they were always, I don't want to say they were in plus territory. We put one inside the 20, had one touchback, yada, yada, yada. But remove that kick return, all the other ones were pretty decent returns, right? I think Texas A&M, let me look at player stats. Let me see if I can't find kick returns real quick. Kick returns. Yeah, hold on. There you go. Kick returns. Two for 67 yards. I mean, that's kick returns. Then their punt returns, man, they had 150 yards, 130 yards, 50 plus 94, 142 yards, something like that. They were never in a bad position, never. That made their life a little easier, but that didn't lose the game for us. Basically, what lost the game for us was we could not keep up, right? When we had a chance and we made it 21-17, we couldn't answer. We couldn't answer offensively with our passing attack. For whatever reason, it just wasn't there. 170 yards passing total with that one coming in from the backup QB, 120 going into that. That's not good. I don't know if it's the size of our offensive wide receivers or if maybe it's our scheme. Some of them seem pretty slow moving. I do know McCown missed a lot of guys on the outside, right? He threw some balls out of bounds that were, uncatchable. Now, I don't know if the wind was bothering him. I don't know if there was wind. I wasn't at the game, so I can't tell you if the wind was heavy. I'm happy with our running game. Very happy with our running game. The Peterson's a stud from USC. I mistakenly thought that was he related to Adrian Peterson, but nope. And USC barely used him. But you saw he's 6 carries for 27 yards, and he ran over quite a few Aggies. So I think we're going to be okay. Now, we did lose a lot. I mean, Griffin, High, and Kavorian, they all scored touchdowns for their teams. So those were guys in our rotation last year. So we've got a lot to pick up. So I'm hoping Henderson and Peterson fill that gap. But it sure looks like Peterson probably will, right? We know Robert Henry. Robert Henry is going to be Robert Henry. He was solid for us last year. He's more than solid this game. There was one play that really, really bothered me, and I think it was our second series after we went down there and we got a field goal or whatever. Maybe we scored it. I don't know. It was our second series. And McCown looked to the right, and then he did a blind rollout, and he rolled right out into an edge rusher that was being pushed way to the outside, and he rolled right out into him. And I think that's a designed play. I mean, you need to bend that shit. You need to just put that in the trash bin because there was nothing on that side of the ball anyway, right? I don't think we ever played it again. I think we were trying to do some kind of trickeration, but that really took the wind out of our sails. I ain't gonna lie. You saw it. I mean, we did nothing that ended that drive. That literally ended that drive. Some of the other things that really hurt us was McCown bulleted one, just drilled a wide receiver, running back when he's 8 yards away with a fastball. Even the announcer mentioned that was, you got to show some touch, right, to make that a catchable pass. But let's give kudos to our team. Yes, we lost 42-24. Okay, you can say it was 42-17. I don't really fucking care. Right? We were in that game to start the third quarter against a program that prior to this guy supposedly had the number 1 recruiting class in the nation, number 2 recruiting class in the nation, perennial top 10. And we were there until the third quarter. It was 21-17 when Griffin ran that 75-yard run, and they were in the box. They were in the box, and he beat everybody. He made that cutback. He wasn't going to be tackled in the back of the lineup. He wasn't going to be tackled, for a loss. He did his jump step, which is common now. In this new day and age, you're not seeing offensive linemen just fire off the ball forward. They do a lot of zone blocking and they run from that type of play, right? We weren't in the pistol. We weren't in the I formation. It wasn't downhill running, right? An offensive line created a gap for him. He just had to find it, right? And he did that hop step, and he was gone. Because I'm telling you, if they had hit him in the back in the backfield, right, he doesn't get anywhere because it stops his momentum. He's hopped over, boom, he was gone. That was a beautiful run. Man, I jumped out of the seat. My dog was like chasing me, barking with me, like, yeah, I'm cheering too. It was great. I loved it. It was funny. So I've never seen my dog do that before. My dog has never done that in any of the prior games. I've had the dog since... She's new dog since 2021, but she's been here for every home game. For whatever reason, that got her excited, and I loved it. It was like, okay, I can take it, man. This is great. I've got myself 3 road runners in the house, right? Me, the missus, and the dog now that truly care about UTSA football. So one at a time, man. I'm bringing them one at a time. So I'm happy. I'm sitting there. I was genuinely happy with how we performed. I told you I didn't think we were going to win. You see my video. We're going to be lucky to beat Texas State. In my video, I told you that. We'll talk about that in the coming up. But at the same time, just because I thought we knew we were going to lose that game doesn't mean I can't be happy with what I saw. Oh, hell yeah, I'd have been happier if we had put 30 on there. I'd been happier if we not dropped some passes. I've been happier had we connected some passes. But overall, and I'd be much happier if we had some cover guys. There were some passes that we covered, right? And I think that's what that defensive scheme was. Deepest deep, widest wide, and that's why the guys were wide open underneath, right? They were not going to get beat deep. They feared that speed. So if Texas State ain't got that speed, right? It's, especially with that after that one wide open pass that they missed, Texas A&M missed. We didn't have any more of those. Oh no, they got what's that phrase? They got right with the Lord, man. After that, because I guarantee you somebody got their butt chewed out for leaving him wide open, right? Luckily, it didn't connect for us. But my point is, you take the bad. We don't know enough about our secondary yet. We haven't seen them in a situation to where we have to stop the run with our secondary. Right? We didn't. We were stopping their run. I mean, they only had 107 yards. And some of that was the quarterback. Let me see if I can see the quarterback, what his stats were. I'm almost positive. Yeah, Marcel Reed had 39 of them. The quarterback had 39 of the yards. He was their leading rusher. Think about that. So that tells you we schemed perfectly. And I have told you from day one, not day one, but I've told you for a long time, Sadiq Haynes is legit. We're going to be lucky to keep him after this year. We're going to be lucky to keep him from being distracted as the year goes on for another school coming calling. He's a great coach. Our defense coordinator, I think he's okay. We've been giving up a lot of points. That's not good. Right? But maybe it's our secondary. Right? That's given up those points in the past. So we're definitely at the defensive line. I don't know of any game we've been pushed around at the defensive line. Even against Texas last year, our defensive line didn't get pushed around. Our front six did not get pushed around. So what else you got after that? Yeah, you've got the defensive backs. There's something with the way we have to play our defense that our defensive backs are put under a lot of stress and the way they do it. And that's concerning. That's concerning. Right? But I think it's okay too. Because that's something that one player can come in and make a difference, right? One player develops and makes a difference, right? Because that's only a position of 4, right? And you get a really good strong safety or free safety that really, really develops and understands the field, that takes away the deep balls, right? That's I think where we're going to struggle this year. After watching this secondary. I struggled secondary last year. You know it as well as I do. Love the kids, but I'm allowed to be critical, right? End of the day, this was a good performance. Our offensive line played good. Our running backs played good. Our front 6 played good. Our back 5, back 4, our secondary, however we play that, struggled, right? That's where all the passing yards came. You saw him running wide open. I'm not going to, there's no lying about that. We struggled at wide receiver, and we struggled at quarterback. That's where we lost the game. That's where we couldn't keep up as wide receiver and quarterback. Running back did what he needed to do. Because look, if they were worried about the run, he doesn't pop off 75 yards. Worried about the pass, he doesn't pop off 75 yards. They were up front, not worried about us passing the ball. So they were up front. They were challenging us. That's how it works. Offensive line's good. Offensive line's solid. We definitely need Overmeyer and Thomas to really have good years again. They have to. They just have to have good years. I really think I'm solid on what I think. So I'm pretty positive I'm going to stick with 8 wins. I was going to stick with 6, but I'm pretty positive I'm going to stick with 8 wins. I'm still worried about that Army game, last game of the year, how we react to them. I'm going to say this every video about whenever we got Army on our schedule, right? Every video that we have Army on our schedule, I'm going to say it. I know San Antonio's a military account. I don't give a shit. They're an opponent, right? Do I worry about UNC? I don't think so. Who else in our conference got tested by a big team? I'm just going to leave that out for you guys to look it up. Who else in our conference stepped up and played a big team? USF played Boise. But is Boise really, do you consider Boise a big team? Most people don't, right? The Boise is the lovable G5. Everybody will see them at that. Boise's the G5 you root for, that everybody in the world roots for, right? Except for when you're playing them. So they still consider them G5. No one considers them a P4, G6, P4, P4, whatever. You know what I mean. But now they are in the pack. USF took it to them. I'm worried about the USF game. In optics. That game may not go the way we want it to go. And that game may go sideways. But anyway, that's a different point. We've got a big game coming up. I'm going to cut this video off now. Like, comment, subscribe, please. And tell me what you think. Don't just listen and then talk to me at a game what they thought. Tell me what you think. Comment it in the comments. Let's get this thing going, right? But like I said, running back's good, offensive line good, defensive line, front 6 good. I call it front 6 because, we do a lot of 3-3s, right? And then we do some 4-2s. Wide receivers struggled, secondary struggled, quarterback struggled. That's what my eyeball saw. I didn't have the audio up too loud, so I just watched the game almost like it was a film study. But, of course, I have to wait for what they're going to show me, and I have to watch it. And, of course, the video was terrible. We have a lot of positives. And the biggest one was when you get any personal foul. So far, knock on wood, we didn't get any personal fouls from Corey Mayfield or Danye Taylor. Man, I love those guys. They hurt for us. They played hard for us. But yeah, that was one of their flaws. And if that's their flaw, you know what? I'll gladly take it because of how much they put on the field for us all the time. Those kids deserve prop. Wish them the best of luck in life, right? Yada, yada, yada. Anyway, peace out. Birds up.